Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Agajanana Padmarkam Gajananam Aharnisham Anekadam Tam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahe. Welcome to all for this session on Ganesha Purana to chapter 45. In the last chapter, we have seen the Lord Shiva, who got defeated in the hands of Demon Tripura, was worried why this defeat has happened. At that time, sage Narada appeared before him and reminded him that he forgot to worship Lord Gajanana before going for fight with Tripura. After remembering what he had done, the Lord Shiva remembered the single syllable and the six syllable mantra of Gajanana and performed austerity for 10 long years and had the appearance of Gajanana standing before him in the form of Shiva himself. Because the Lord Gajanana can take, he himself is formless, so can take any form at will, which even Vedas and Shastras cannot understand what form he can take, because Lord Parabrahma, being the form of all the forms that is existing in the world, can take any of those forms. The Lord of the gods, Vignesha, Vignahari, was pleased and wished to give boons to Sharva, Shankara. What did Sadashiva requested? Brahma continued the story. After hearing Ganesha's speech, recollecting the real appearance of the boon giver Gajanana, Shiva made this speech. By worshipping you now, my 10 eyes and 10 arms have become auspicious. By eulogizing you, O God, my 5 heads have become auspicious. And so too have my 5 faces by bowing to you. You are earth, water, air, and the directions. Fiery energy and time. Your nature is that of causing. You are the atmosphere, taste, form, and smell, touch, word, mind, and the senses. You are the heavenly musicians, yakshas, deceased fathers, humans, the celestial sages, and all the hosts of God. You are Brahma, Indra, Shiva, and Vasus and Sadhyas. Being both moving and unmoving were produced from you. By means of Rajas quality, you create everything, O unique God. You protect all this by means of Sattva. By means of tamas quality, you destroy it, O Lord of all three qualities: rajas to create the world, sattva to maintain the world, tamas to destroy the world. Yet you are always indifferent, a witness to every action, because you yourself do not perform any of the action, and you only witness the action that is happening in your presence. And with Shiva's permission, I too spoke to that is Brahma himself is telling this. Brahma too spoke to the god Ganesha and recited his names. Listening to all this, very wise man, you indeed are the first seed syllable of the vowels, and in the form of exclamation, Om, you are the basis of Vedas, because Parabrahma, who is having no form, he is identified by the single syllable known all across the world as Om, which is the source of all mantras, source of all seed mantras. May you also have the name Ganesha, since you are the mighty Ganesha. When Gananayaka had said Om, Karva became satisfied and gave some boons, saying, whoever will recollect you in respect of all his duties, O Lord, will achieve his goal without any impediment. But by not recollecting you, nobody, not even a worm or an insect, will obtain success in the goal for which he aims. The speciality is this boon was given by Lord Shiva himself to Gajanana. And now, in the ensuing battle, Lord Shiva himself has forgotten in the hurry of going for a battle with Demon Tripura. We have seen the similar situation happening to Lord Vishnu while he was going for a fight with Madhu and Kaitaba. And the same thing happened to Lord Brahma in the beginning when he was trying to do the creation. And the same thing happened to Vyasa himself in the beginning when he was trying to create the Puranas. So whatever is the work that we are doing in the beginning, it is necessary to perform or to worship Lord Gajanana so that our work will continue without any obstacles. Worshippers will Worshippers of Shiva, of yourself, of Vishnu, that means worshippers of Shiva, worshippers of Brahma, worshippers of Vishnu, Shakti, and the sun god, should, in respect of every duty, whether it be good or bad, religious or worldly, whatever is the work they are doing, jealously worship you first or before doing any other activity. Whatever is auspicious amongst all beings, including gods, yakshas, vidyadharas, kinnaras, of that you are the Lord. You become the embodiment of auspiciousness. Since you bring auspiciousness for your own devotees, you are not recollected at the if you are not recollected at the start of the battle with eminent demon, because I neither praised, this is what Lord Shiva is telling to Vinayaka, because in the beginning of the battle I neither praised nor honored you, O Lord. Because of that reason, it is not the demon Tripura who defeated Shiva, it is you, Gajanana, who defeated me. So now I have come to your feet for refuge. O all powerful, forgive my offense. Give me victory on the occasion of every battle. Even those who never worship you, God, beggars, dullards, must be allowed to prosper. This way, any work that we are carrying out, the fruits of the action are always given by the Supreme Deity. It is not given by a human being. If you are offering services to anybody, even if you are working in an office, of course, it looks like the office people are paying your salary. And if you create any work of art, it is a purchaser will going to pay for you. And if you offer service to somebody, that person who received the service will going to pay for it. It looks like that. But in reality, in the forum of those people, it is the supreme deity himself will give us the money. And why this kind of an understanding? Because remember, whenever we are offering any services to a fellow human being, we always be very selfish. Could this much be sufficient? For the money that he is giving, why should I give more service? Let me give him the service to only the money what he pays. And with that, we become too much behind. We start hankering too much behind the money. Instead of that, if you think that any service that I'm doing it, it is not for my fellow human being, every service I am doing it for that supreme deity, because it is that supreme deity who receive my service, and it is that supreme deity who will give the reward for whatever services I give it to him. Whether what reward he will going to give is something that is at my good things. I mean, something good to happen to me. So in that way, he will reward me. So with that intention, if you carry out any of the job, you will see an immense satisfaction, and even that work will happen in a fullest form. And that is the concept behind whenever we are offering any service, it is the service only to the supreme deity. And whenever rewards are given, it is given only by that supreme deity. because all fellow human beings or all the beings across this world are nothing else but different forms of the supreme formless deity. Brahma continued the story. On hearing this, Ganesha, knowing the substance of all speeches, made this statement to Shiva, the mountain dweller. On whatever occasions you should recollect me, I will come to you, Shiva, Lord of Uma. Consecrate the single arrow with the seed syllable of my name, and with that alone throw down the triple cities. Rendering it, the demon will turn into ashes by means of my power, O Mahesha. Ganadhipa will completely satisfied in his mind to Shiva as he bowed correctly and devoutly. He then recited 1,000 of his names, that which grants victory and accomplishes people's desire. And he said to him, recite it on the occasion of battle, and you will immediately kill the demon. Men who recite it at dawn during sunrise, noon, exactly at the noon time, and during the sunset time, will have success in all their most cherished desires. After he had heard the speech of Duryodhana and had duly worshipped him, Shiva rejoiced ecstatically. He installed a huge Ganesha image at the spot where Ganesha appeared for him, then immediately constructed a massive hall. After he had satiated the gods and the groups of perfected sages, given gifts to the bulls of Brahmins, and repeatedly worshipped the god, Shiva, Lord of Mountains, made obeisance to Ganesha, the boon giver. He said to everyone, this is Manipura. It must become famous all over the world. When all of them and the god had pronounced their assent, they all disappeared, preceded by Gananatha. After Ganesha and the hosts of gods and the sages had disappeared, Shiva went to his home accompanied by his own host, and by multitudes of yakshas, heavenly musicians, and goddesses. Quite joyfully, he told his own story to the mountain's daughter. After hearing all these immortal words from Shiva, the mountain dweller, these lords of gods, sages, and lords of yoginis, and their wives rejoiced. They thought about their own homes and destruction of Tripura, because their homes were captured by Tripura. So now with the destruction of Tripura, all these demigods will get back their homes, and which would accomplished by the favor of Shiva, the mountain dweller. Thus ends the 45th chapter of Upasana Khanda of the glorious Ganesha Purana, in which Lord Shiva, the Lord Gajanana, appeared before Lord Shiva and gave him the boon, and reminded him that by piercing with a single arrow all the triple cities, Demon Tripura will turn into ashes. And at the same time, Lord Gajanana himself told Lord Shiva the 1,000 names of Gajanana, and by repeating those 1,000 names of Gajanana at dawn, at noon, and at sunset, one will going to fulfill all their wishes. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmir Puravasini, Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime. Namaskara.